This is going to be your guide to unlocking the new vehicles in Lego Fortnite. So first thing you're going to need is the new resource glass. You can find these in bandit camps, but also if you have someone assigned to metalworking. Now for some reason, interacting with the lumber mill unlocked the compost bin for me, but there we go. That's how you build it. 2 soil, 1 sand, 3 fertilizer. So it looks like shovels now have a use. Get out to the desert, get some sand. Then that also shows that you can smelt some glass here when you unlock sand. Alright, so let's see what we need to make some vehicles. Bright core for the sand. Yeah, having a villager smelting is very big. A lot of the recipes are going to require granite. So 63 granite, 100 wood for the big vehicle. I haven't unlocked the smaller one because I haven't made the biomass yet. We can just kind of see, like, if we go through the toys, if we go through all that, we are going to need some granites, and then we unlock the different kinds of wheels and other resources based on what we have unlocked. I also put the raptor onto the composter. So now let's see how this thing works. So you can't just dump in anything where it's like, oh, I've got like extra resources. So it will take certain things. Now food is going to be a big one. You can also put in multiple items and multiple stacks of items, and that's going to be composting in the queue. And if you need help unlocking anything else, just go to the patch notes, you know, flexwood for the off-roader, frost pine for the hauler, and then a lot of it is pretty simple. You shouldn't be missing anything. Wooden rod for the wrench. Now, because you can put food in the composter and you get more compost depending on the rarity of the food, having a villager working at a kitchen probably going to be the best thing because this is going to give crazy amounts of compost. Alright, from all that random stuff I put in, we ended up with 8 biomass and 10 fertilizer, but let's see what happens when we put in some good food. How much biomass do we get? Also, because we have biomass, we have now unlocked new recipes. The power cell can be crafted at the crafting bench for 50 biomass and 6 glass. Now, after 1 day's work, we only got 1 biomass from the raptor. I don't think having a villager on the compost bin is actually that great because, yeah, you can just have, like, someone cooking and then you can put those resources in. So pretty much the amount of time it takes for, like, all the items to process, where you can get way more resources if you just put in, like, food, you only get 1 biomass, and maybe it even rolls, like, a fertilizer or soil or something, so that's not great. Alright, so all of that created 10 biomass and 10 fertilizer. Takes a while to unlock vehicles, so like the first thing you want to do is put stuff in the compost bin as you're like upgrading, as you're playing. Takes a couple minutes to get everything processing, and then we can finally start making some vehicles. I also did an experiment where I only put bones into the compost bin, and bones actually give a lot of biomass. So there is some nuance here, because if you have too much garbage and you're just filling it up with bones, you're actually going to have fertilizer and soil get in the way, and that's going to block the processing. But if you just put in the higher tier foods, you're only going to get... But if you only put in the higher tier food... But if you put in the... But if you put in the higher tier foods, you're going to only end up with biomass. But if you put in the higher tier foods, you're only going to end up with biomass. Now, I know some people are going to get, like, super upset at me, where it's like, bro, you're wasting all the really good food. I mean, just eat a meat pie, full satiety, and then you're good to go. Now, the processing on the food can be kind of slow, but I had like 20 fruit pies and 20 pumpkin pies I'm not using, and I put in some meat pies even. So, if you just have like extra stuff, throw it in the composter. Make sure you check up on it every once in a while. That way it doesn't get like blocked on the processing. And then bones are going to be one of the best things just on maintenance, but also, like, yeah, you AFK for a bit, you come back, there's just bones littered everywhere. The auto pickup in the game has been updated, so you're not filling up your inventory with like all these garbage weapons and stuff. So you get the bones, throw it in, get your biomass, make some vehicles. Also, it would be really nice if they updated this because you need so much biomass for the fuel cells that, like, if fruit pies gave like 5 biomass, then it's like super duper worth. But as you're just like out and about playing the game, yeah, just do that, have someone cooking, you're good to go. Interesting. I just got glass from a random chest in the wild that had some dudes spawn by it, and those dudes also dropped some glass. So yeah, you don't even need to go to the desert to get glass. You just like loot camps and enemy NPCs, and you can get glass that way. Cool. And that was the biggest skill issue I've ever had in this game. I didn't notice the chest dropped a power cell. I thought that was like a stupid drink or something. So the special chests that spawn in the overworld and the bandit camps, worth doing. Just get as many fuel cells as you can from that. It's OP. Oh, there's a lot more to this build, so we're going to need all kinds of stuff. I'm guessing a little bit might not be needed, like the torches for the headlights, but it's probably good to just kind of build your first standard vehicle from the recipe. That way you can get an idea for how it works. We got some wood, flex wood, and some wooden rods needed, which also means having someone at the lumber mill, probably a good idea. So let's just go and fill up our inventory with all kinds of stuff. Yeah, this is actually pretty good for understanding how the vehicle builds work, where you just kind of use the lift and then you put some bases down, and then you can just kind of build it out with all the pieces that are available, and then it goes by pretty quick. It's also nice that the game does all the thinking for you. Yeah, interesting. So suspension 2 wants the medium powered wheels, and then we have the medium turning wheels up front. So still using the powered wheels, that way you actually like get power out of it with the engine. And then you have the turning for the steering. So what you do is you open up the engine, you put in the power cells, you try not to push and destroy the thing you just built. Alright, so let's see how this thing handles. It handles alright, and it zooms around pretty good. Cool. Doesn't look like there's a turbo function, but we can just kind of go around. So it depends on, I guess, the engines, how much power you have. We could maybe put like a larger, I think the engine size is just the fuel capacity. So we can see that for one fuel cell, we're getting this much out of it. Putting a crafting table down and some chests means you can also craft some fuel cells on the fly. Would be interesting to see like how far the mobile base idea behind it can be pushed, where it's like, oh, I have a composter, always going, never shortage on bones, especially have like a... And then through the power of reading tooltips, we can actually get a lot more information on how this stuff works. So we now have the old wheels being simple wheels, the powered wheels and turnable wheels having like their own information about it. So spins when given a signal from the driver's seat, consumes some power per second from a power center, and you can also change the direction. So a lot of customization. Be careful about how you push into your vehicle, because I can like tip it over and stuff, but everything is looking good. So a lot of customization, just kind of tedious to set up. Let's see how much faster this is now that we've put in some extra powered wheels, and that's gotta be a good amount faster. It uses more energy, and it doesn't look like it lost a lot of control. So yeah, there we go. I'm gonna be doing more videos. Like I'm gonna give you guys what I'm gonna be up to. I'm just gonna sit on Reddit and Twitter and see what like crazy things people build, and just kind of like try to branch off of that. So there we go, guys. That is how you build the new vehicles in Lego Fortnite. Pretty cool stuff. It's only going to get crazier as people like figure things out more, but really nice to kind of open up your world, be able to explore, be able to make it to all those resources, which also means like, yeah, maybe the bright core isn't too bad now because you actually go to the deserts and stuff. People are going to build highways, the flying contraptions, probably going to be the best way to go. So we're going to see how that develops. And there we go. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.